So, I'm gonna first tell you a little bit about our individuals and then the situation in the wild, which is the hardest part of the talk, but also the most important part of the talk. Then after that, we're gonna feed them. But I can't feed them now, because otherwise you guys would just go away until I have actually said the most important part. So I'm gonna lure you in with these individuals. Here we have Betty, who I think is looking at me over there, a 9-year-old mother. And then we have her 3 little kittens. One of them is a boy, and then there's 2 girls. And they were all born on April. Then on the other side, we have Ness and Zach. Those we are not going to feed today. And there's actually a really good reason for it. We want to keep everything very relaxed there because there's little kittens. And this is a first-time mother, so everything needs to be very calm. Even us don't go there that often, just to feed and basically change the waters, and that's it. So if that enclosure is a mess, that's the reason. I'm not being lazy, so it's not that. And Ness was born here at the park 2013. So she's offspring from Betty, and her father is Hamish, who is also father of these 3 little ones. And Hamish isn't here at the moment. He's actually 11 years old boy, but he's in a breeding loan, so he's having a holiday. Hopefully he will be coming back on some point, but at least, you know, at the moment he's gone. And Betty obviously couldn't care less, because she has her hands full with these kittens, and the father wouldn't have anything to do with raising them anyway. So he's better off as well. And then Zach on the other side, who is with Ness and who is the father of those little ones. He was actually brought here 2012. He was found from the wild. And first, this veterinary clinic, they started hand rearing him as a normal domestic or feral cat, but soon found out that, okay, something's not quite right now. He became a bit wilder and wilder, and obviously because they had actually experience of even hand rearing feral cats, which can be quite wild as well, they knew better, and they contacted us, and we did the DNA test. Or I wasn't here at the time, but they did the DNA test, and it was found out that he's over that 75% limit, which is still considered good enough Scottish wildcat. And all these animals here at the park have been tested, and they are all over that 75% limit. Otherwise we wouldn't breed them, obviously. And this is always a good chance or bridge for me to go to that hardest part of the talk. So, why we need to keep those over 75% limits, and why don't we just have a few ones and wait for those? Guesses? We can't be sure that there's any pure ones left. And that is a bad situation. So also those estimated numbers, the most positive ones, they go less than 400. But some are not that positive. They are quite skeptic, and they say there's none pure ones left. And what is the biggest threat to Scottish wildcat, which is your only native cat species and the most endangered mammal species? Any guesses? Domestic and feral cats. And do not blame cats for that. It's not their fault, it is our fault. And this is the hardest part of the talk. They are there because of us. And we need to start as an owner to take the responsibility of our cats and dogs, what they are actually doing there. They are causing serious harm to the wildlife. It's not only the biggest threat of the Scottish wildcat is that they can breed with them, which causes hybridization, and the purity of the cats go downhill, obviously. But that's not the only threat that they are actually causing. They all eat the same prey. So compared to, for example, Scottish wildcat population, even if we would take those most positive ones, which are less than 400, feral population only here in the Scotland. Any guesses on that one? Just some numbers. Well, that's about how much there must be like in domestic and all those good things. But some estimates go even 100,000. So that's a bad situation. And feral and domestic cats, they breed much faster than Scottish wildcats would. These guys get only 1 litter per year, and in that 1 litter there is less kittens than the domestic and feral cats would have. So their population actually grows much faster in the wild, and your nature hasn't adapted to that kind of threat. They are adapted to the Scottish wildcat. All the birds, all the rodents, all those animals that belong there, who are wild animals, should be there. They are adapted. Their population can still manage Scottish wildcats, but they can't manage feral population and domestic cats. Domestic cats as an individuals, same way as domestic dogs, cause much more harm as an individual wild animal would, because they have energy to do so. They have much more that luxury that they can start just playing with the food. They don't obviously consider that the other animal. They don't think that, okay, well, that's a mouse. They see it as a squeaky toy or a food source. So it's not, again, do not blame cats. We have actually bred them to be like that. We have bred our cats and dogs to be more like kittens all their lives. These wild animals, they do grow up. So they are not as playful. They have that side of them as well, but they are not as playful as our cats and dogs are. And that is the reason why I always try to urge people, take the responsibility of your pet's actions. Do not let them go outside. They do not belong to the wild. They are pets, they are not wild animals. We have bred them to be pets. And it is not a welfare issue to keep your cat indoors. I know many people think that cats are suffering if they are kept indoors. There's absolutely no scientific evidence to back that up. And I have actually worked in animal shelters. I have trained quite a few outdoor cats to be an indoor cat. It is doable, and it's not a welfare issue. So if anyone wants to get any tips after this talk, you don't have to raise your hand now and say, well, my cat is out there. But after this talk, if you want to get any tips how to do that, how to make that change, I'm more than happy to give those tips. Just so to make sure that those cats' welfare stay the same. All right. So it's not only the food that they are fighting for, it's also territories. Our domestic and feral cats, they are known to actually live in loose groups. They tolerate each other much more, and also they tolerate obviously us humans more than these guys would. So what comes to territories, those feral and domestic cats get upper hand. And that's not good either. So all where they could actually breed and all that goes to domestic and feral cats. Also, but that's not all. Also there is obviously our domestic animals get vaccinated. So that is one of the reasons why they should get vaccinated, by the way, everyone. But anyway, they can then work as carriers for certain diseases that then those wild animals or feral cats would then get. And obviously it's not going to just take all the feral population, it will spread also to all the Scottish wildcats and take all of them. So that is the reason why I always like to say about this talk that this is the most important talk of the day. Obviously all the animals here at the park, they are very important, and there's a lot of dangers to all of them happening in the wild. But this is something that you guys can so easily make a difference. They are your native animals, and it is only up to you that you make that change, that they survive. All right, so let's go all home and make that change and start spreading the word. Okay, that was my rant of the day over now, and I can show what they're actually gonna get.